We shall be discussing anime. More specifically, we're going to be discussing Demon Slayer. Now, we all know there are 9 Hashira when it comes to Demon Slayers. There's Mitsuri, Shinobu, Tokito, Giyu, Sanemi, Obanai, Tengen, and Gyomei. Now, when it comes to the 9 Hashiras, they are all well respected in their certain categories in terms of like strength, speed, battle IQ. But what I decided to do is, if my own opinions from what I've seen and from what I've read based off of like articles and seen in the manga, I've decided to break down each Demon Slayer into each category and then rank them overall in terms of strength overall. Like strength overall as a character in terms of everything and anything. So here are my 9 rankings for the 9 Hashira in Demon Slayer. And beginning at number 9, a lot of people on this list would have my favorite Hashira, Shinobu Kocho, in the number 9 spot. But no, number 9 is surprisingly going to be Mitsuri. One of the biggest reasons why I feel like Mitsuri is at the bottom is due down to, I've read an article that when they all had like a race or like did a time competition, and you guys can search this up, Mitsuri finished last. But they're also saying that she had just eaten. I'm still gonna count that. I'm gonna still say, like, even if they were to like have a full meal, Mitsuri would definitely be one of the slowest, and I still think that even in general, she would probably be one of the slowest in general, because I think the others would just be faster. Probably one other Hashira would be below her. But in terms of where I have Mitsuri ranking in terms of the 3 categories, in strength, I put Mitsuri at number 5. In battle IQ, I put Mitsuri at the bottom. And let's not say this. Mitsuri, when she was fighting against Upper Moon 4, she was doing very good. But when it kind of like got into the moment where like the fight was continuing, she kind of got like worried like she was gonna die. In that moment, you can't die. Like, Rengoku was worried about dying, but Rengoku went down in a most badass way, and Rengoku's the one that taught Mitsuri. So I would expect Mitsuri to fight like Rengoku does, but she didn't. And then when it comes to speed, obviously, as I just said, Mitsuri, in terms of speed, I had her last. So in terms of her average, I had Mitsuri at an average of 7.6 in terms of all 3, dividing it by 3. Mitsuri placed last at 7.6, and she will be my 9th ranked Hashira in terms of the strength overall, strongest overall as a Demon Slayer Hashira. Number 8 is the Serpent Hashira, Obanai, who actually is Mitsuri's love interest in the story, or supposedly so, her love interest. Now, Obanai here had an average of 7, which means he had a score of 21 through all 3 categories. And in strength, I put Obanai at 7th. I really can't tell how strong really Obanai is, because he kind of masters strength, and obviously in terms of like physical strength, he's kind of on the shorter side, so it kind of really puts this factor on him. So I kind of like put him towards the bottom there. Battle IQ, like I said, I've read the manga, but I want to see it in person. I want to see it in the anime. So in terms of battle IQ, I put him middle of the road. I put him 6th place. And then in terms of speed, like I said, I was just talking about Mitsuri. There's only one other Hashira that probably be as slow as Mitsuri. It's Obanai. Obanai is a Serpent Hashira, so you know he's going to run in zigzag. He's not going to run straight. But if he were to run straight, I still feel like there's other Hashira that would be very faster than him. So those are the rankings where I had Obanai in each of the 3. 7th in strength, 6th in battle IQ, and then 8th in speed. So that gives him an average of 7, and he'll be my 8th ranked Hashira in terms of strength overall. My 7th ranked Hashira is going to be Muichiro Tokito. This is going to be a highly debated one, personal opinion, because I believe that Tokito is a lot stronger. But in terms of all the categories I did, remember I was only doing 3 categories: strength, battle IQ, and speed. It doesn't put it well. Like, the only one I'd probably be able to tell, like, he could probably be a bit better in terms of IQ, but you guys gotta remember, when he was fighting against Upper Moon 5, for half the time he wasn't even taking the fight seriously. In that moment, you have to take the fight seriously, so no matter what. So in terms of battle IQ, I put Tokito, I originally had Tokito 5th, and I re-ranked it, and I put Tokito in 8th, because I feel like that's where he is towards the bottom. In terms of strength, I put Tokito 8th as well. I'm gonna say again, his short stature and the fact that he's 14 puts a diss factor on like his strength overall. But in terms of speed, I think he's one of the fastest Hashiras I've seen in terms of the Demon Slayer world, and I'm gonna put him fourth in terms of speed. So in that average, Tokito had an average of 6.6, which puts him as my 7th ranked Hashira in terms of strongest overall. Sixth, we have the Water Hashira, Giyu Tomioka. Giyu Tomioka is legit the mystery in this whole thing because he could be so much stronger in each of these categories. He's just too depressed. Giyu is just too depressed to even like try him most of these things. In strength, I put Giyu at 6th. 7th, I put him for battle IQ because I think Giyu would have a very strong battle IQ if he just took it more seriously and wasn't depressed so much of the time. And then in terms of speed, I think I put Giyu 5th and I moved him down one spot to 6th. So that gives Giyu an average of 6.3 and he'll be my 6th ranked Hashira. 6.3 makes sense right there, like 6th ranked Hashira, Giyu Tomioka. Now here's going to be the most highly debated one, and this is going to be probably look at that as personal bias. Shinobu's 5th. Yeah, in terms of strongest overall, I have Shinobu at 5th. And here's the reason why. She may be the weakest Hashira in terms of actual like physical strength. She makes up for in other areas. Battle IQ, I think Shinobu's in the top 4. I think Shinobu is 4th in terms of battle IQ, and even when I re-ranked it, I did not move her a single spot. And then when it comes to speed, you guys gotta realize that even Upper Moon 2 said that this is the fastest Hashira that he has ever seen. Now, of course, he's never seen Gyomei or anything like that or the other Hashiras, but in terms of like other Hashira that he has fought, and remember, he fought her sister, and she's faster than her sister. So I put Shinobu at the number 3 spot because I just believe that Shinobu is definitely one of the fastest Hashiras that's out there in the Demon Slayer world. So that gives Shinobu a 3rd in speed, 4th in battle IQ, and 9th. That 9th is going to be the one that knocks it basically all the way down to 5th. And Shinobu's average was a 5.3, adding all the 3 categories and then dividing it by 3. Shinobu gets a 5.3, and it's my 5th strongest Hashira overall. 4th, this one was definitely a lot lower and didn't have a good average. I originally had him 6th before I ranked everything, and I'm going to have him 4th. Number 4 is Sanemi Shinazugawa, the Wind Hashira. Now, Sanemi, obviously, in terms of strength, is one of the strongest overall. And I believe that his battle IQ can be deterred by the fact that he's such a hothead. Like, you can literally insult him in battle, and he will literally come at you and swing viciously and wildly that can end up getting himself killed. But then in terms of his speed, he's the Wind Hashira for a reason, so he has to be pretty quick up there. So in terms of each rankings where I had him, in strength, I had Sanemi in 4th spot. In battle IQ, I had him originally in 8th, and I re-ranked him to put him in 5th because like I said, I feel like his battle IQ would be very good. It's just the fact that he's a hothead, so the personal hothead kind of had me at 8th, but then I fixed it and I really thought about it and I put him 5th. And then in terms of speed, he was the one I switched with Giyu. I originally had Sanemi in 6th and Giyu and Sanemi in 6th and Giyu in 5th, and then I swapped them around because I just feel like in terms of like actual like race, Sanemi and Giyu are like right next to each other, so it kind of makes sense. And they were right next to each other when they were sparring in the Hashira training arc. So yeah, Sanemi had an average of 4.6, which puts him obviously in the 4th spot. Now it's time for the 3 strongest Demon Slayer characters overall in terms of my personal opinion. You guys gotta remember, this is my personal opinions. Tell me what your opinions are in the comments down below. I'll be reading the comments, so make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and you'll see more content like this coming up very soon. My number 3 strongest Hashira is no doubtly, I would probably say the strongest Hashira if you ask anyone, and that is Gyomei. One of the reasons why Gyomei is not the strongest Hashira in here, it comes down to speed. You guys gotta remember, he may be quick, but he's a very big dude. He's not gonna be able to move this quick, and he's not like slender like somebody like Tengen or somebody like Rengoku, so that's gonna bring him down. So really, I had Gyomei first in 2 categories and then 7th overall. And you guys can probably guess which category I had Gyomei in 7th place. That was speed. I had him in number 1 in battle IQ because I think that in terms of the whole Hashiras, like this man was ready to take on Muzan. This man had thought of a plan ahead of fighting Muzan. That's very high battle IQ. Gyomei is there, and in terms of physical strength, of course Gyomei is going to be number 1. When we get introduced to this man when he's training Tanjiro, he's literally on lava rocks holding like 3 branches of wood on his shoulders. That is strength right there. Gyomei is definitely number 3, and obviously based off the average that I got, if you add them up, first, and 7th, that would add up to 9, divided by 3, 3rd, Gyomei's 3rd place. So that leaves 2 Hashiras as my strongest overall. Which Hashira do I believe in terms of overall capability is the strongest? Well, number 2 is the one that's no longer with us. That is Kyojuro Rengoku, the boy Rengoku. Rengoku, I gave an average of 2.6, which was pretty high. So you can probably tell that Rengoku is going to be high in a lot of these categories. Rengoku is definitely one of the strongest Hashiras out there in Demon Slayer. So in fact, I put him in 3rd on this list. 3rd in battle IQ because let's not forget, this man was doing a very good number by himself, protecting Tanjiro, protecting protecting Zenitsu, protecting Inosuke, and then battling Upper Moon 3. You have to have some very good battle IQ to fight against Upper Moon 3 and last as long as he did. And in terms of speed, Rengoku, I actually put up above Shinobu because I remember when he was chasing down the demon that was trying to like kidnap the lady with the lunch boxes. He started breathing and he went fast as a tiger, man. This Rengoku is pretty fast. I can't even lie to you about that. So Rengoku, it was basically top 3 in all automatic categories, and for him to be only number 2, it tells you something. It tells you somebody had to do a lot better than Rengoku. If Rengoku was third, and 2nd and got an average of 2.6. So that means this person had to have an average better than 2. And yep, that is it. There's only 1 Hashira left. And my strongest overall Demon Slayer core Hashira is Tengen Uzui, the former shinobi, the former ninja. And that is self-explanatory right there. Tengen, in terms of strength, he is 2nd overall, I would honestly say, behind Gyomei, just because I believe that Gyomei is just a very lot stronger. In terms of battle IQ, he's a former shinobi, he's a former ninja, so a ninja always should have very good battle IQ, so I put him 2nd in this list. And then when it comes to speed, we all can tell that Tengen is the fastest Hashira. He's the sound Hashira for a reason. So of course I put him number 1. So what does that tell you? If you guys were paying attention, Tengen was 2nd in terms of strength, 2nd in battle IQ, and 1st in terms of speed, which means Tengen's overall was an average of 1.6 in terms of the 3 categories I have, which means that Tengen, in my personal opinion, is the strongest Demon Slayer Hashira overall. Now, if you guys want to go back through the rankings real quick, number 1, we had Tengen, 2nd, Rengoku, 3rd, Gyomei, 4th, Sanemi, 5th, Shinobu, 6th, Giyu, 7th, Tokito, 8th, Obanai, and 10th, we had Mitsuri. Let me know what your opinions are in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys all next time. Peace.